Hey guys, welcome back. Nightfall Q&A. We're going to be wrapping up some Destiny 2 questions and concerns here, so let's get to it. First question, how are you feeling about the renewed storyline in general? You think we'll start getting into some unknowns, or is this just going to be another thing that happens that we need to deal with? Well, based on what we know right now, I guess it feels like there might be some movement towards finding out what the Traveler is, the darkness, etc., the whole nine. As you all know, Destiny 1 has basically been a series of individual stories that have given us no information on what the Traveler is or anything surrounding any of the backstory, like, I don't know, what the hell all of this is, The Traveler attacking the tower and trying to steal the Traveler definitely feels like it could lead us into more exposition, with Gaul perhaps explaining some backstory of the Traveler, why it's so important, why did it come here, yada yada. Or it could just be another thing that happens, we take back the Traveler, and life goes on without any explanation of anything. I'm hoping that the story gets pushed forward in a meaningful way, a way that gives us answers, instead of just raising even more questions. I understand if some things will go unanswered forever, but you gotta give us something. Next question. I've been hearing a lot about trading in Destiny 2. Can you explain this? So you might have seen some variant of this image going around, the one that shows off strange dust, a currency in Destiny 2, that says you can trade it. A lot of people have taken this to mean that we're going to be able to trade with other players in Destiny 2, and while it would be nice, I haven't seen anything to indicate that we're going to be seeing a complex enough economy to support trading in-game, considering how much Bungie is simplifying the game in Destiny 2. Bungie has also not spoken about trading at all. I really do not anticipate trading to enter the game in a player-to-player fashion. The trading just probably means player to vendor, you trade with vendors. And if trading does come to the game, it'll be done in a very, very conservative way, sort of like maybe how World of Warcraft does it, where you can trade items within your raid team only, and only for a very brief time. Let's work on Glimmer actually having some meaning first, then, we can move to more complex systems. But no, I'd be very surprised if we saw trading. Next question. During the reveal, they briefly showed, I assume, that the artifact slot is coming back. What would you like to see out of the artifact slot? Rise of Iron was a good start, but do you have any other ideas? So the artifact slot is now something for your clan. I believe it's like your clan banner or flag or something. I don't think the artifact slot is returning. It never really added much to gameplay besides in Rise of Iron, but I have a feeling the artifact slot was just spruced up after Bungie realized they were entirely pointless to gameplay other than adding another item slot. In Rise of Iron, it was like, oh, yeah, we said artifacts were like going to do something cool, and then they never did anything cool for a year, so we should probably have them do something. And so they did, which made it a little more interesting, but I would say most of the cool artifacts went underused. It looks like something they're just scrapping. They're just scrapping it, which I don't mind, although maybe the clan banner will do something interesting. I don't know. Next question. We've been seeing class abilities for Destiny 2. Are these just per class, or are they per subclass? For example, is the Titan barrier for all subclasses or just Striker? I think they're probably per class. It is specifically labeled as a class ability, and I don't think Bungie would invent 6 to 9 subclass abilities individually, as nice as it would be, but we'll get answers on this pretty soon. Next question. Do you think the weapon slot changes would allow for swords/melee weapons in the kinetic or energy slots? Did you get any impressions that they wanted to mix up gameplay a little bit more? I doubt that you will have a sword as a primary weapon. Energy, I also have my doubts, but I think it's more likely in the energy slot. However, it really depends on how they tune the swords. If they tune them to act like a primary or energy weapon in terms of power, then I don't see why not. But the main appeal of swords right now is their very high damage, and if Bungie keeps them that way in Destiny 2, then obviously I don't think we'll see them in the primary or energy slot. If they wanted to make a more fast-hitting, lighter damage weapon, then sure. You know, as long as it's balanced properly, I honestly don't care where swords go. They can go anywhere as long as they're fun to use and are somewhat equal to using a gun. Next question. I am hyped for Destiny 2. Me too. And I love how much they have changed, but I don't like fighting the same enemy types again. How do you feel about that? Well, I mean, I don't know why people would expect Bungie to invent 4 new races, or like, in general, more new races for the game, especially considering we've barely cracked the surface of the history of these enemies. I was not expecting any drastic changes to the enemies at all. So, yeah, I don't know. It's fine. You know, 1 new enemy type here or there would be nice. 1 for each race is fine. For all we know, there could be more stuff coming, although I'm keeping it reserved. The Cabal have a couple of new enemy types, which is cool, but yeah, Bungie wasn't going to wipe out the 4 enemy races and just put in a bunch of new ones. I think that's a little drastic. Finally, for the Destiny 2 questions specifically, should I build a PC for Destiny 2 and how much is it going to cost? So we still don't know the minimum specs for Destiny 2 on PC yet. See, there are some games like League of Legends, Counter-Strike, World of Warcraft, games that are designed to run on basically anything. Destiny probably doesn't have the appeal level of those games on PC specifically, but it's still a pretty popular franchise, so I'm not sure if the game is going to be engineered in that way, to be a, you can play this game on a laptop from 2009 kind of game. If I were to guess, I don't think it would be built in that way, and you might need a machine that's, a little bit stronger. If you've built anything in the past 2-3 years with a decent budget, you're probably fine. If you're building something soon with a budget of, I'd say about $1,000 or more, you're probably fine. But we really need those minimum specs first before I can really say what's going to be good and what's going to be bad and what do you need and what you don't need and, what kind of graphics card should I get, etc., etc., etc. As for the should you build one, that entirely depends on your specific circumstance. A good computer is always nice to have, but a lot of people don't need anything more than a YouTube-watching, email-checking machine. I know that, yeah, getting a PC up and running can be cheap if you do a lot of research, but for a lot of people, it's a big startup cost, much bigger than a console. PC gaming is great, and if it's something you want to get into, then you should absolutely build a PC for Destiny 2. I don't think I would build a PC specifically for Destiny 2 if you're not going to play anything else, but in general, PC gaming is great. If your friends are building PCs too and you want to join them, go for it. But it really depends on your specific situation and your income. I would tell people to go bigger rather than smaller, because if you start with something small, yeah, you can get off the ground cheaper, but you're going to be doing upgrades a little bit more often. I would say save a lot of money, at least $1,000. Get something solid that's going to last you for a little while. I will always recommend PC gaming. It's a lot of fun. So, yeah. So those are most of the Destiny 2 questions covered. Just going to round it out here with some more general Destiny questions. Next question. Why are sticky grenades currently the meta? I don't see how they provide more PvP utility than Axion Bolt or skip grenades, for example. I answered this question on my question page thing a very long time ago, but in my opinion, the main point of stickies is 2 things. Number 1, killing someone instantly very easily. Number 2, killing someone instantly while also providing the same or similar kinds of pressure that an Axion Bolt or a skip grenade can provide. If you see someone bum rushing you, your first thought is generally to run away because they might have a sidearm or a shotgun, and you're probably ill-prepared for that, especially in trials if you don't have your own sidearm or something like that. This person is creating space. Axion Bolt and skip grenades do this as well. They create space, but they are less risky, but they also don't one-shot. Icebreaker in trials is really popular, and if I saw someone rapidly closing the gap on me, I know I'm probably going to back up. In regular PvP, if you're using anything other than a sidearm, then there's very little opportunity to counter other than just trading. Not only that, but stickies are annoying in that they reward bad positioning and bad behavior. In any other situation, running at someone in a straight line will lead to your death 99% of the time, provided the other person actually sees you. With a sticky grenade, you simply flick it at their face while doing the exact same thing and get rewarded with a kill. In both situations of running away, you die, but with the sticky, you get to trade. Sure, you could, do this with a shotgun, but stickies have a much greater range. And sure, it's not like every single stick is the result of bad positioning. The magnetism on sticky grenades is pretty darn high as well. Finally, ability cooldowns are really, really low, and you can get 2 stickies, so you can spam them basically non-stop. Stickies were also made way more consistent with killing in a somewhat recent patch. It was a few patches ago. They've never really been nerfed. So, in general, they're pretty simple to use, reward bad positioning and bad behavior anyway, and just doing stupid stuff in general, and have very low cooldowns and a lot of killing power. So that's why they're pretty darn popular right now. Next question, what is one of your favorite non-meta or non-optimal DPS guns to use during raids? Really asking based on how it feels to shoot, but any reasoning is fine. The first curse during the War Priest, and also the totems sometimes. It's a gun that I rarely get to use, but is actually pretty good in that encounter specifically. As long as you wait until your gun gets low ammo, the thing can hold a lot of shots and can snipe cross-map just like the old days, provided that you have the buff on it. Plus, it's one of the few high-end hand cannons that I have that doesn't cause a lot of explosions, and explosions tend to cause issues because I usually hold the brand on War Priest, and, if you kill too many ads, that's kind of bad. The bonus range on headshot kill is helpful for the brand phase, even though it's rarely needed. Rarely does that influence whether I kill something or I don't kill something, but it's pretty nice. It's also satisfying as hell to use because it's really slow and it feels really powerful, and you have the loud snapping noise whenever you shoot it. It's just a gun I really enjoy that I don't get to use very often. And final question, we're going a little YouTube meta with this one. Has the YouTube ad boycott BS affected you at all? No. I don't really make the kind of controversial videos that makes advertisers angry, fortunately. So, no, it hasn't affected me at all. And I've actually had my, top 5, top 6 months this year since the changes. So, it really hasn't affected me. Destiny isn't really a gory game. There's no blood. There's violence, sure, with guns, but it's more fantasy violence. And I don't think it really breaks the YouTube rules in terms of advertising. Plus, it's a teen-rated game, too, so I imagine that helps. I may make all of you guys angry. Fortunately, YouTube does not care if you hate my opinions on Gjallarhorn, you know what I mean? So, yeah, no, it hasn't affected me, which I'm very grateful for, and hopefully it does not affect me in the future. So, that is your Nightfall Q&A. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time.